Please, 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 Joe, please. Please step down, Joe, please. Everyone on planet Earth thinks that we Americans are all a bunch of inbred, hillbilly, deliverance style hillbillies, inbreeders, okay? Please, Joe, please step down. It's time to go. I want you to go to your basement, get in your basement, and eat ice cream until you vapor lock, okay? Please, Joe, please. Please go away. You got Burt Reynolds spinning in his grave, okay? Good Lord, bro. Help, work with me here, please. Please, Joe, work with me. Okay, guys, speaking of Burt Reynolds and broken arrows and stuff, here, I've been in the barn here. It's raining, but I love this. I love it. I love this time of year. Drizzly rain, duck hunting weather, hunting weather, slip and sneak through the woods, right? With what? Yeah, this is cool. This is cool. I own 3 of these, by the way. Steveo owns 3 of these. I have 1 recurve and I've got 2 longbows. Yes. And what's cool about these Black Hunters is you'll notice here, Black Hunter. These are cookie cutter bows out of China, guys. See, even got a little Chinese writing there, all right? This one happens to be 35 pounds. 35 pounds at 28 inches. Well, I pull 29. So that pumps you up to about 41, 2, somewhere in there. Plenty ample power to take out a deer or a wild hog. Yeah. And fun to shoot. I'm out here every day, guys. I've got that bag target. I got a, look at it, it's getting this gut shot out. It's getting totally gut shot. I find these little bouncy balls. They're about yay big around. You get them at a dollar store, and I've got some long needles, about yay long. They were actually plumage needles. When I was doing taxidermy work, they were plumage needles, and they're about yay long, and I poke a needle into that bouncy ball. I tie a piece of B50 bowstring material on it, and I adjust it till it's in the center of that hole in my target. So you're looking at, and I usually spray them up fluorescent orange because they pop. You can pop, see? You can lock onto that. Some guys shoot a blank bail, and that's good too, because when a deer comes in, he doesn't have brown bouncy, fluorescent orange bouncy balls on the kill zone. But you get the point. You're concentrating and shooting at a dot. So they work good. And what I've been doing is fletching up my own arrows. My bud in Tarpon Springs, you guys ever get to Tarpon Springs, Florida, look up my buddy. He owns Britain Archery Shop. He's a very good friend, and they text and BS back and forth every day. Him and Ted Nugent, the Motor City Madman. And so they met at a SHOT Show years ago, and they become best of buds. Anyway, they communicate every flipping day, or every other day. Anyway, what I'm shooting here is I'm shooting a 300 shaft gold tip arrow. This says 75, 95 shaft, but they're basically, what they are is a hunter 300 spline. These things are beefy. They're probably too beefy for this longbow. It's overkill as heck. But I can shoot these with this longbow. These shoot nice, and I've got them full length here pretty much. And I buy my Fletching, I buy that on Amazon. I buy the bows on Amazon. You guys can get into archery. It's very fun. It's a very satisfying hobby. You can get this bow for under $100, guys. If you're a Prime customer, you don't pay shipping. It comes right to the house. I'm Prime. Under I think I paid, I take that back. I think I paid 100. I've seen them for 88 bucks. Okay. You can get any bow limb you want. The riser, which is this thing, from here to here, it's takedown limbs. In other words, you can put an Allen wrench in here and take these limbs off. You can put different strength limbs on. This one happens to be 35 pounds, like I said, at 28 inches, but I'm pulling 29 inches, which pumps it up. The shooting power of this bow is about 41 or 2 pounds. Plenty of power, plenty of power. You don't need to kill yourself. I do add this, and you can still get these. I was shooting these back in the 60s, right here. This little thing right here is your arrow rest. I shoot a right-hand bow, which means that you're shooting off, you hold the bow here. You're holding the bow here like so. And when I shoot my bow, I've discovered this thing that locks in, it's got a beautiful grip on these things too. That's what I love about these. The very nice fit. You could modify them with a rat tail file, whatever. I mean a rasp, work on this handle and get it wherever you want it. Don't get too nuts, you'll weaken the integrity of this handle. But you can get this thing wherever you want. And what I do is bring this index finger around and my thumb, you see, touches it. That's it. I don't grip the bow like this. No, because you can torque a bow. But by doing this, your hand just sucks right up in there like that. And the bow here on the riser, he lays right in that palm right there. Just like that. And so when you pull back on the bow, I don't have this thing strung up, but when you pull back on the bow, as you'll see, that arrow, these fletchings I shoot are left wing, and I use a clamp on my jig that is left helical. So not only are you getting a left wing feather, and you can see that what happens, the theory is on this, traditional shooters, some will probably disagree with me. You can shoot right helical, they say, it don't matter. But the theory is, the old school theory is on this, when you shoot the bow, the arrow is spinning with this fletching, automatically spinning to the left, which is spinning away from this riser, okay? These are called Bear weather rests. Fred Bear made these up way back. I was using these back in the 60s. They just a peel and stick on, but with the radius on this Black Hunter, I had a little issue. What was happening at the back end, it was lifting up, and the arrow friction all goes through here. It was starting, I think my fletching was clipping this and it was lifting up. After about 10-15 shots, it was coming out. Hell, I had like an 1/8 gap in that thing. I said, whoa. So what I did is left it stuck in that position. I just moved the bear rest down. You'll see I jammed it all the way to the bottom of this. Some guys put leather on there, or they'll put Velcro on there and then trim it off. They'll trim it off here with a razor blade. But I just love these bear weather rest. And this, they make them right hand or left hand. Okay, this happens to be a right-handed one. It comes off the left side of the riser. For a right-hand shooter, you shoot off the left side. Okay, Right-hand shooter used to be completely opposite. The cutout will be over here, and the flat portion here will be on this side. This is a 60-inch long bow, and I think the recurve bow I've got is also 60. It comes with a string. I put these on. These are nothing but paracord. I pulled the guts out of paracord and I lashed these in for a string silencer. You can get the rubber ones, whatever you like. It also comes with a nice stringer. Don't be putting these bows. A lot of guys put this bow between their legs, all this craziness. When you're doing that, you're torquing the heck out of that. You can break a limb. Ask me, I know, I did it. I did it to a really nice bow too. So I don't play that silly game anymore. Something like Joe would probably do, but you know, because he loves breaking things. This is such a cool bow, and for the money, I really, of course, they're building these with slave labor, let's face it, you know. You don't get this bow just right, you're probably thrown in a tree chipper and spread out over the tilapia pond, maybe, fish pond, yeah. But it's incredible. It is, you got black glass here, and it's very good glass. You've got sandwiched in here bamboo. I'm not sure what this wedge piece is in here. Some kind of a, looks like some kind of a hard mahogany in there. And then you've got another bamboo piece here. And then you've got black glass on the back, front and back, you've got glass. And see, it comes down to a beautiful taper. There's no, on a crappy, well, a bow that's not made correctly, when you see this wedge come in, sometimes there'll be a smidgy gap in there. If you see that on a bow, it's not a quality bow, and that's probably going to be where it breaks right there. But they've got this beveled down to a beautiful feathered taper in there where all these materials come together. I'm sure they whacked this thing out, this entire thing out, limbs and all, and riser all with CNC machines, you know. They probably just cranking these out by the freaking thousands. I don't know what kind of wood this is, but it's a very, very hard wood, and it's got a beautiful looking grain, wood grain. This could even be some sort of a manufactured material. It looks like wood, but this may not even be wood. But it does, from what I'm seeing. I haven't modified it at all. Some guys modify these. They work on the grip here and all. But I find this, for my hand, just worked absolutely perfect. And I really thoroughly enjoy shooting. I try to shoot every night. I may only shoot 15 arrows. I may shoot 80 arrows. It just depends on, you know, what's going on. It's raining right now. I'd be probably shooting right now if it wasn't raining. But I can't anyway, because you see what I've done here. You see what I've done here. Yes, I did a little bloodletting today. I go in every other month because I'm on TRT. And with TRT, we must keep our blood thin. So to do that, you donate blood. So I went in and had the girls check me. I was 15.7. Good. I'm good to go. Donate. So I got a bottle of water. I got a blanket. I got a gift certificate for $20 to Longhorn or Olive Garden or Carrabba's, Italiano Carrabba's. My bride is Italian. She loves that place. So here's my arrows. I ordered from Gio 1 dozen. I want a camo. He said, well, the only thing you're going to get camo right now in Fletch, because I like 5-inch feathers, by the way. I get them by the 100 pack with Amazon. Here they are here. They are what they call a shield cut. They call this a shield cut. So I buy them left wing. They're a left, this is cut off. This is from a bird, this left wing. Take out the left side, see how it's, the base is here, and see how it curves this way. This came off the left side of the turkey. So I get it all white. So my cock feather is usually a different color. So all I do, you just take a magic marker and make them little lines in it. That's all. Very simple. But the shield action is this cut right here. And I get them 5 inches long. I love a 5-inch feather. It's just me. It's just me. Now, to put this in the jig, I've got a clamp here. And then the other thing you do with this is get some mirror glazed car wax. This is important. Get mirror glazed car wax. You can see it on there. And you put coat on and let it dry. Put another coat on and let it dry. Open your clamp up and smear some right on this inside here. Both sides. Rub it in. Okay? Rub it in. And now you've got a mold release action going on here. Okay? Now to install this, it goes into the jig like this. And you've got lines here on this. Boom, boom, boom. I put this back of the feather right there on the 3rd line, like so. And just drops in. Leave it sticking out proud. Leave this sticking up proud. But bring it down. See the line here? I've got 1, 2, 3 lines. That's about 3/4. I've got some arrows, I've got factory arrows, they're a full, you can see this is about 3/4 inch from here to here. I did up 3 of these last night. And you can put an inch in here, which would be probably another notch up. It'd probably be 4 notches, it would give you an inch. But what you do, you leave it up proud, and you push it down. Just about like that, okay? Now, your glue, no big secret glue, no big secret glue. I go to Lowe's, just pick up, or even most of the stores have this Loctite super glue. Careful, you get stuff on your fingers will stick together with it. But what I do, I lay the, keep the tip clean, have some paper towel clean that. But what I do to do this, I use my pinky finger. I've got the glue here like so, right? I'm gonna put the cap back on so I don't dribble glue on me. I'm not gonna glue one up to show you. I'm just gonna show you what I do to install the glue on this feather. I use the pinky finger and I lay it right here beside this rail right here. And don't be squeezing this, you'll loosen up the thing. I hold it in here with this hand like this, and I take this pinky and I lay it up here. Then I can put the nozzle right there and just a light squeeze, and you just want a bead right there, and you just hold it. It takes a little practice, but you can see that finger, that's steady in your hand. So you're not just going drizzling all over like Joe would do, you know. You have to have a little control, you know. You don't want to be like Joe. So what you do is just run that finger right there along that bead and put a little light bead down through there, just like so. Boom, to the end. There, you set it down. Here's your clamp. Here's your clamp. You already have your arrow shaft in here, okay? It's already in here. And there's adjustments on these clamps. You can get these clamps very cheap. These things aren't cheap. This one here I've got is Ms. Jumper Archery. Anyway, I got it online, Amazon. And you've got 2 magnets here. and you've got a piece of steel here, in here. Well, that's the connection part, you see. It'll just go right in there. Bam, it's stuck with a magnet. So what you want to do is make sure it's up here, your shaft's in, and it automatically puts it here, all right, like so. And when you drop it in, don't push hard on this. You don't want to push. You can push this clamp all the way past the shaft. Well, what's going to happen there? Use a little finesse. We want finesse, not mess. Okay. So push this down, and you can eyeball the distance there. Make sure it's tight to the shaft. You'll see a little bit of glue ooze out on your shaft. That's it. You come back in 15 minutes. That thing is done. You grab the clamp and you squeeze it, and your fletching will be stuck to the shaft. Then you're going to load up you're going to take this knob. You already got one feather on it. It's going to be stuck up here. See, I've got they send you with this jig one for straight or different indexes. In other words, you can take 2 shafts or 1. If you want just two vanes on it, you take the whole arrow out and turn it and stick the knock back in. Now you moved at 180, and you can glue on another one. You can do this with two fletchings if you like. But I like 3. I like 3 like this. And it's just a prettier looking feather. And what's one more feather? I get these things for, I don't know, $32 a 100. They ain't bad at all. Coming out of China. Yeah, everything's China these days. I wish we could get some American companies, you know, back in here and put people to work. But no, we got everybody out on welfare. But anyway, that's what I like. I just do that 3 times. And then when you're done, take your glue and put one drop right there. Turn the shaft, put one drop, come up here on the back end, put one drop, and then I stand them up in something, whatever, to where they're standing at a little elevation like this, and the extra glue will run down. And yeah, there's what you're looking at there. When that thing spins, it's coming off the rail, off that weather rest, and it's doing this number right off the get-go. And it is so cool. It is, to me, so cool that you can sit and watch this shaft turning with both eyes open. Both eyes on your spot. Just like this. What got me going on archery is actually some kid that was in the neighborhood. He was into it. Of course, back in them days, you know, in the 60s, when I was growing up, we didn't have all this, you know, all this toys the kids have today. I mean, it's crazy, electronic toys, and they're glued to that stuff, really glued. Anyway, we just fished and we hunted, and nothing thrilled I never really got my dad all smiley with me. He did with my sisters because they had good grades. Old Steveo didn't have good grades. He was in the woods, he was fishing, he was doing that. Everything but keeping his mind on schoolwork, okay? If I had to do it all over again, it'd be the same. It would be the same. Sorry to say, Dad, rest in peace. I know you're probably spinning in your grave right now. But anyway, he really enjoyed me bringing in wild game because he wasn't a hunter. He didn't have time to hunt. He was making babies. He was working his ass off, turning wrenches, painting houses, whatever it took to make a dollar. He was just working his ass off to put food on the table. There was no time for games, playing games, right? So anyway, I enjoyed going out harvesting animals, and the only thing I could harvest it with back in the day is the neighborhood kid. I saw him, what he was doing. He said, we're going squirrel hunting, me and my bud. So I said, can I follow along? He said, yeah, come on. So we took our bicycles. We went way the hell out there. Actually, it was a golf course. It was pretty funny. So I followed along behind. I was the game hauler, you know, whenever they killed. We were going for limb rats, gray squirrels, what we were hunting. And we went down there, and the friggin' squirrels were running everywhere in them big old live oaks. And they had just little cheap arrows, little wooden arrows, and it had metal tips. Back in the day, I still have some, by the way. Back in the day, back in the day, it were bullet tips like this. That's what we're shooting squirrels with on a tree. And this thing is sticking to the side of a tree. Well, you couldn't get it out half the time. So we'd snap off the arrows, and take a pocket knife and cut a point on it, and just shooting squirrels with a wooden point. It did the job. They'd run up top of the tree with an arrow sticking halfway out of them, and we'd watch them, and we'd move down the way and start shooting at more, and then eventually they pass out and drop down, and you can collect your squirrel. And them guys gave me all the squirrels. I said, can I have those squirrels? Yeah, we don't want them. We're just shooting them for fun. I said, okay. Good target practice. So and I didn't have a bow. He had a Fredbear bow back in the day, and it felt rest on it, as I recall. And the bow was given to him because some numbnut slammed it in a car door and broke off the tip. Well, his dad was quite handy, and he reshaped that tip, that string tip. And that's how he shot that thing. It was shot probably an inch or so shorter, but the guy shot it great. He shot it good. He got used to it. Shot it good. Him and I hunted together a few times. And but we went back to his house, and he had an old Ben Pearson bow, solid fiberglass. I think it was like 35 pound bow, which was perfect for me. And he said, here's a bow you can have. I said, where's the string? Yeah, I don't know, lost the string a long time ago. It broke. But here's a bow. That's all you need. Your dad will figure it out. Make a string. So I went and took it home. Hey, Dad, look at this bow. Okay, where'd you get that? Neighbor kids gave it to me. I said, but I need a string. Can you help me out with that? I don't know how to build a bowstring, he said. I said, what am I going to do? Build your own. Figure it out. Figure it out. It was always the saying. Figure it out. I said, okay, I'm going to figure this out. He said, there's some old mason twine out back, some nylon twine out there. I'm sure you can get creative and make a bowstring. So I knew about this. Well, I've had a few arrows, wooden arrows, and I said, well, it's got to fit this knock. So obviously I can't get the string thicker than this knock. But I think what I came up with was 2 strands of mason twine snapped right into that knock. Nice. I said, well, I've got the size figured out. So what I did is put a loop in one end. It had to be bigger at the top. You have to have a bigger loop so it'll slide over the limb. And then you come down, and what I do on my long hunter bows, here's the top, and here's the bow stringer that comes with it, but it's got a deep pocket on it. So all I do on these is shove a little paper towel in, so it keeps it standing up a little bit. It's got make sure you got enough on there. You don't want to be pulling this down, because you got to slide the string up and let it drop in this groove right here. Here's my string, and once I put this under my foot and lift up on the bow, you'll see it in the instructions. Then you can slide that and snap it in. So you really want to have a stringer. And with these hunter longbows, these black hunter longbows, this comes with the bow. Yes. So you get that. So anyway, I knew my thickness I needed. So I made a loop, and I went down, and what you want to do if you ever do have to make a loop, and I make them. I make Flemish twist strings. I've made a bunch of them. And what you want to do is come down about 4 inches, put the loop at the bottom first, and bring it up on the back side, up to about 4 inches down from this. Especially Flemish twists, you can leave them a tad long, because you do a left twist on it. Flemish twist goes this way to you, and that will shorten the string. You do it the right, it'll lengthen the string until you get the right brace height. They will tell you the right brace height for these, and I think this one is 7.5 inches, I recall. And you measure it from the inside of this riser right here to the string. You want, I think it's 7.5 inches what I've got on this puppy here. They come all different. You'll have recommendations from the factory to tell you which, you know, what the measurements are and all, but they're all about, your starting point is all about 4 inches down. You have this loop up here 4 inches down before you string it. Once you get that established, then you string your bow up, and this will come up, snap in, then you've got the right distance from here to there. And then you can adjust it by letting the bow down. Take your stringer, let it down, and adjust it in and out till you get it. And then it takes about 100 arrows. Don't just throw it on and say, well, that's it. And I don't suggest you put the knocking point. You'll notice on this bow, I don't only put my string silencers on like these here, but here's my knock. Here, you want to put the arrow on, it snaps underneath. This is the bottom of the bow over here, this is the top. You snap this on underneath. Just one is all you need, because I shoot 3 fingers under. And in umpteen years of archery, I always shot what they called split fingers. Split fingers is nothing more than splitting your fingers. And what I always did was come back and I put this corner in my mouth, like so. That was my anchor. And I take this thumb and kind of wrap it on my jawbone. All right? But anymore, and I was watching a video, ancient video the other day, I hadn't seen this before, was Fred Bear. He was getting up there in age. And he made this movie flick, by the way, before he died, you know, because probably wouldn't have shown up after he died. So he made it before he died. But he looked pretty old in that flick. But anyway, he had a little young whippersnapper there. He was showing. He said, all right, I'm going to make a bow hunter out of you. Kid said, okay. He said, what I want you to do is put the arrow in. They had a big bullseye target, and it was, oh God, it was 3 foot across. It looked to be about 10, 12 yards in front of them. You couldn't have missed the bail. I mean, it was huge. He said, all right, now load your arrow and hit the kid with split finger in it, just like I did when I was a kid. And he said, pull it back to your anchor. Find that anchor, he said, on your face. Find that anchor in there where it feels good. And then when you shoot, don't do this. Keep that hand tight to your face. Well, I've been doing that before I saw this flick. I think I did it before when I was a young whippersnapper. Never, it was just automatic for me. I'd pull it back. First of all, I'd watch Fred Bear go out and kill a grizzly bear or a mountain sheep or a grizzly, you know, sneaking around a rock. You've seen those flicks out there. Shooting caribou, shooting polar bears, all this stuff. And I never thought about his anchor too much, but he did shoot. Fred did shoot with a glove mostly, and he put that birdie finger in the corner of my mouth. in the corner of his mouth. But it's only there a split second. I mean, I've seen him shoot, I think I've seen him shoot almost like right here. He is aiming, he's looking, he's aiming, staring down. He was an instinctive snap shooter. In other words, when he comes back and he hits this face, snap, it's gone, all right? But he put that finger here. I've tried shooting like that, don't work for me. I've got to have this index finger in a corner of my mouth, and this knuckle here kind of fits in here. But this too, what I've developed, I don't know if it's partially target panic. Target panic is the fear of missing, okay? That describes target panic. You're afraid you're going to miss that target. When I was a kid, I never thought about it. All I thought was, I've got to get that animal. I have got to get that critter. My dad wants that meat. So that's what was in my head. I have to get that meat. I would come back, stare at that animal, and my arrow would go right through him. 90% of the time. 90% of the time. So I got away from that for years and years and years. I bought a Matthews bow, spent $1,100, got all the bells and whistles on it, trigger release. I shoot a Scott release. It's got a formed grip. You grab it, and it's got a trigger on it. It's just like shooting a gun. And what I do on that bow, I take that knuckle, and it comes back, and it tucks in behind that earlobe, just like that. And I'm looking through the peep sight on my pin. I got a fiber optic, by the way. That thing is beautiful. You can be in low light, and if there's any light at all, hits that fiber optic, it comes around and lights up a little lime green dot. And you put that dot on that kill zone. Once you get it dialed in, you have got to adjust your sights. But you do it about 15 yards. You can dial that bow in. Now you're good. It's shooting. I shoot a 62-pound. It can go up to 70 something. I think that bow can, but that's just overkill like crazy. I should blow right through. I've blown right through hogs, deer with these arrow setups. Piece of cake. It slides right through them and stabs into the ground on the other side of them. Unless you hit a major bone, then it'll do something crazy, whatever. But it gets to a point where it's not even fun. I mean, you see a critter come in, you put the frickin' pin on him, and he turns sideways, and you want to try to get a double lung shot. And if you can do that, a lot of times they don't run. They run less than 100 yards, unless they're really pumped up. They'll usually. I've seen them drop. A lot of times they don't even know what hit them. They're just like, something just happened, but I don't know what it is. And then they're going. They take a few more steps and go, oh, I don't feel very good. And they go flop. And then you made meat. Okay, you got meat. Okay, so anyway, yeah, that's what I do with this. It's enjoyable. I got to pick up a dozen shafts on. Got to go to Geo's shop on Saturday, and then I'm going to take Miss Daisy to Rusty Belly's down there in downtown Tarpon, and get her. She wants a shrimp taco. And I usually get something. I usually get something seafoody because it's a seafood place. Anyway, so that's the plan. I'm going to go down and pick up a dozen shafts. They're going to be all black because he told me. He said the only person that has camoed shafts right now, 300s and 5-inch fletch. Ted Nugent likes 5-inch fletching. Yes. I think that's 5 or 5.5. Let me see here. I don't know. It doesn't say here. And I don't have my tape measure. But anyway, that's 5-inch fletch right there. Nuge loves these, and he was an instinctive shooter for a long time. I've seen him shoot bows here lately, and his eyesight must be getting bad like old Steveo. But I've been out here playing, guys, and I'm only shooting. I stepped back to 15 the other day, and my groups have been like this at 12 yards. I stepped back to 15 or 16 yards, and my groups opened up like this. I need to work on that. I want to get at least 15 yard shoot. I'm not going back 20, 30 yards. I'm not doing a Byron Ferguson. No, I'm never going to be a Byron Ferguson. Another thing too on these tips, which is a really good idea, you take them out and get you a block of beeswax and you run this thread through. Get a lot of beeswax on this and shove it in here. It's going to be sticky. It's going to be a little tough now to do that. And you thread it down. Now you got that thing will stay in there, and you can shoot and shoot and shoot. If you don't do that, every time you pull this out of the target, this thing's rattling. This tip is loose. So a tip from old Steveo: beeswax this in. Now you don't have. There's one more thing you ain't got to deal with to piss you off. Okay, one little time saver. Let's not get pissed off. Tip of the Steveo day right there. So this is tons of fun. They're easy to do, easy to fletch, and yeah, I have been working on something else. I have this old stand right here. It's a lock on, and there's a seat that goes in here that folds down. You can bring it up, but I was on YouTube there the other day, and the title was, I fell out of my tree stand. I'm going, and it showed a ladder stand. And you've probably seen them. You've got basically a ladder going up with one of these lock-ons on the ladder. So what they've done here, you've got a hinge point here, right? This standoff right here stands off from the tree. As you can see, the tree will be here. You want to get at least a 9-10 inch tree. The one I'm going to be hunting on is about, oh God, it's a big pine. It's got to be 18-inch pine. So this dude was talking about it, and he panned the camera up to the tree stand, and this whole bottom portion, these cables broke. And the whole bottom, this was stuck to the tree. This whole thing fell down like a trap door. And he said, I fell, guys, 20 feet. And he pointed the ground, and there was a bunch of leaves down there. He said, this is where I landed. Guys, God was looking out for this guy, I'm telling you, because a fall from 20 feet. If you don't do a tuck and roll or something in the last second, and it don't take but a second to drop 20 feet, and you are accelerating quick, you're going to snap your neck. You're going to snap something. And God forbid you snap your neck, become a quadriplegic, okay? But it's happened. It's happened a bunch. So this is dangerous stuff we play with, this game of hunting. You could have a wild boar come out of the woods with great big cutters and run up under you and hit your femur artery right about there, and you're going to die. You're going to die right there. So there are dangers out there. I'm just saying, So you want to minimize all the dangers that you can while you're hunting. So I put on different cables. This is 1/8 cable. This is coyote choke 'em down cable right here. It's sprayed up. There's the roll. I got a 1/16 and an 1/8 inch. This 1/8 inch is 920 pounds each leg. And you can see here I double ferruled it on both ends. I went to Lowe's and got these big washers, the fender washers, 3/8 hole, and put them on. I took the old cables. I was looking at the old cables, and where they were, there was rusting in there. And I looked at that and I'm going, and then I had a flashback of this dude's video of him falling out of that tree. And both cables broke on him at the same time. And he come crashing down. So anyway, this is 920. There's a rating on each one of these. I'm sure that's going to be God's plenty. I'll put it through its paces before I even get up there. I'm going to put this thing about a foot off the ground, and I'm going to jump on this thing like a wild man to see if I can get it to fail. It ain't going to fail, I can tell you that. It's going to hold it. But what I did, I went and got some brown silicone, and I'm going to squirt it in here, and I'm going to put a rubber glove on, and I'm going to coat this cable thick all the way down here with that silicone. Completely encase it, both sides, and then I'll have this held up. I'll probably put a vice grip right here to keep it from falling down while the silicone is setting up. I'll just let it sit up for 24 hours. Now it's all coated. I'll shoot it up in this hole here, and I closed down a pretty tight loop on these. So this is the plan here with this. My seat, I took the seat off. I've ordered a 20-foot climbing stick. I got an Amazon climbing stick, and I got it for, I could have went to Rural King, but I'm going to spend over $100, and I got to looking online. They got some good stuff. Amazon. And I'm getting a 20-foot climbing stick. They strap to the tree. I used them in Michigan a lot, so I know they're a good way to go. I tried the screw-in steps. You're damaging the trees, especially in a pine. When you stab it. Yeah, okay, sorry about that. I had to change batteries. I've been talking BSing so much I ran out of a battery. I had to put a fresh one in. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna cover this cables here with brown silicone. All this is going to get painted up heavily. I'm not putting a seat on this thing for the simple fact, when I get up the tree, I'm going to put a strap. I got a heavy duty strap there that's going to go around and hold this against the tree. I'll probably be hammering in a nail or something, so when I pull this up in the tree, I can just set it, put the nail and just have it under there just to hold it temporarily. Then I can mount my strap. Then I've got 6-inch long legs. Then I'm going to nail in there so you can see where the tree is coming. I'm going to have that much leg stuck into that tree. Yes. So that'll hold that thing in nice. I'm going to have one there and put one down here, plus the strap. That baby is going to be secured. This is the wax I use, by the way, to put on that clamp. Yeah, this time just pick it up. You can get mirror glaze wax or whatever. It's a good mold released wax for that clamp. I have several clamps. I got like 3 clamps. And most of the archery shops, they have like a dozen of these, and they have like a Lazy Susan deal that they can do. So you can do like a dozen arrow shafts at a time. Myself, I just do one at a time. Put one on, I go do something else, come back in 15 minutes, I can rotate my clamp, put on my next fletch, and so on. But here's what I've got going on here. I've got a tether rope here that goes around the tree, and I run it through a carabiner. The loose end, I run it through the carabiner. This one happens to just rotate. You rotate this thing. I've got it stuck on here right now, so it's not doing its thing too good here. But you just turn it and it snaps open like that, and you put it around the rope through. Now you've got that thing locked on, and you run this up, and it's secured. This goes all the way to the ground, by the way. And I made this here, this little clothespin looking thing, very simple, with a paracord. I used a slice of PVC pipe, I heated it up, I wrapped it around a punch to create that eyelet. Then I did a wrap with bowstring material. That really tightened this up. And I just kept adjusting it to where it will snap on here, like so. Now it's just like a clothespin, but when I come around the tree into this carabiner, this tries to slide down. Well, you just take this clip and put on. Now the rope isn't sliding, it stays there. So yeah, that's that. And this will go, this pad, by the way, some guys use knee pads. I'm not going to use a knee pad. I'm going to put this, so it's just an old seat, cheap cushion. You get them at Walmart in the hunting section. And you put that, that's going to go up against this bar right here. Right there, going up against that bar. It'll go around the tree and hook right to there, so your knees can come down and rest on it. But I'm going to hunt out of a saddle. I'm going to have this saddle combination with that stand, okay? Some guys do what they call one sticking and all that. But this is just basically a diaper. You're hunting out of a diaper, how's that? And this particular brand right here is Hunt Armor. Hunt Armor is the name of it. This is a knockoff. Built very beefy. You've got where your lineman belt goes here. I got another pouch over on this side for my lineman belt. And this pouch over here has got some extra carabiners. And I got leather gloves in there, some good deerskin leather gloves when you're working the tree, getting up and in and out. I also look up this product right here. This is called a Madrock. This is called a Madrock Safeguard. And this is a cool tool right here. You can repel with this thing, and this thing will hold you in place. Check out Madrock Safeguard. And you take this carabiner off here, then this little hatch door opens up, and the line, let me get it together here. The line, the static line that's hooked up top passes through here. Let me take this off so you can see what I'm talking about. This is a cool device, guys. All right. This is a cool device right here. Here's your lever right here. And this hatch opens up like so. This line right here goes up to the top where it anchors on the top, okay? Then you bring the line down, you come up through here, the loose side. This is a repelling line. So your line coming from the top where it's anchored comes down through here, comes around this loop right here, comes up through here. Once that's done, you close the hatch. Once you close the hatch, you open your carabiner up, bam, there it is. This is hooked to your belt right here. This is hooked to your lineman belt right here. So this carabiner will be in here, like so. Okay, now what you can do is very cool, is say you fell out of the tree. This little seat bucket thing's got you. So you want to come down or wrestle yourself over on the steps. But as you're going up the tree, I'm moving this loop up. This carabiner top loop, I'm moving it up. case I slip and fall. You can slip and fall out of there, and then you got the 20-foot drop, right? No, we don't want that. So this line's coming through this hole, it's coming back up through here, and you drop, and this is hooked to your belt. If you should drop, this whole thing rocks forward. You see when the rope's in there and the tension's up here, this thing locks forward. What it does is pinches the rope right there in that hole. You're locked up, you ain't going nowhere, all right? So say you want to come down out of the tree and you want to rappel down. You take this rope that's coming out of this hole and bring it down this way and have it over here like this. The tension line's going up. You got it like this. Then you're going to reach over. You got this hand on your tag line. You want to keep firm grip on this because this controls your descent. Just don't leave it loose. You could rock it to the ground with this thing. If you jerk on this lever, you could rock it to the ground and kill yourself too. So, I mean, it's just common sense stuff. You're going to hold with this line and just control tension, and that'll keep you locked up. But what you do, you take this lever with your other hand and come over the top, and you can control the descent with this thing. You pull this up, and that opens this hole up, as you can see there, because it's rocked forward. See, it's rocked forward, pinching that rope. You ain't going nowhere. But when you lift this lever up here, slowly, just start cracking it slowly, and keeping tension on this line in your back here, right by your butt, you can just slide down the rope. It'll jerk a little bit. You'll just get a little jerky sensation. But you just slowly work this lever up and hold tension here, and you can control your descent right on down the ground. If you should fall out, you may get done with a hunt and you want to rappel to the ground. That's cool too. You can just step off the tree, lower your bow down. Say you want to come back in the afternoon to hunt again, leave that rope up there. When you get to your tree, you take this off, you feed the rope down through here, come around here, and then shut this little hatch. As you're going up the tree, you grab this loose side and you walk up, you're creating slack in this line so you're crawling up. Take this rope over here and just pull it up. As you step up, pull up. As you step up, pull up. And if you should fall, slip, boom, you're already there. You're only going to drop this far, whatever. And you just keep, inchworming your way all the way to the top of up to the top of your stand. So anyway, that's kind of the cool stuff I'm playing with. I got a little long-winded here, but hey, this things you do when you're, when you're reined in. It looks like it's slacked up now, but we got some winds coming. I think tomorrow is Thursday. We got 70% chance of rain. So it's supposed to be a wet winter in Florida here, from what I'm hearing. We've had a lot of dry spells. I keep putting pickle barrel out here, keep adding water. The deer are coming in drinking my pickle barrel dry. So, of course, I'm feeding them dry corn. They're getting thirsty. And they're hitting my salt lick. They're getting thirsty. So they're drying up my pickle barrel, so I got to keep adding water to that every 4 or 5 days. So that's what I'm doing. Thanks for coming by. Steveo's Base Camp. I hope you all are well. Stay well. Get on a carnivore diet. Get away from the left-wing lunatics. They're flipping crazy, guys. They're flipping crazy. We got to get our country back. But that's all of that I'm going to tell you today. And I'll see you soon. God bless you. Behave yourselves. See ya.